Well, here we go. You are not homophobic. You are just normal. If you have managed to somehow get called homophobic or transphobic simply because you choose to dissociate from those type of activities or people that participate in those activities, you get put this label. You have this label put on you, and this label isn't even a good label. It isn't even a label that makes sense. Like, it isn't even a label that's even worthy of even being attached to anyone of our kind. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, and for a disclaimer before I even get into this, I'm not talking about people that hate people that are homosexual or that hate people that are trans or whatever. Not at all. No, those type of people are exempt from this. The people that I'm talking about are the people that choose not to associate with the type of people that commit to those behaviors or that commit to that lifestyle. And that is fine. If you commit to that lifestyle and you want to be homosexual or transsexual or whatever, nobody can stop you from doing that for the most part. And that's okay. But my thing is, we don't have to be around it. We don't have to accept it. We don't have to have anything to do with it, as a matter of fact. I don't want to have anything to do with it. What you do in your bedroom is up to you. And really, it's up to you until it harms someone else. And that's where I have a lot of issues at. But that's for another segment. But for this part, I really just want to talk about how people get called uh, a homophobe or a transphobe simply because they don't associate with behaviors that they do not commit to, that they do not associate with people that commit to lifestyles that they are not akin to. Like, I just don't get how this is an issue. um when you see people that smoke, right, or people that drink, or even to the extreme, people that do crack or do other types of drugs, right? If you don't do those types of drugs, you don't necessarily want to associate with those types of people. You don't want to hang out with somebody that is going to be sniffing crack, right? You may not hate this person. You don't hate crackheads. You just don't like crack addicts, do you? You just don't like the idea of crack addiction. My bad. You just don't like the idea of crack addiction. And crack addiction is the thing that is turning you away from this person. Not that the person is evil, not that you hate the person. You don't like the behavior. And the behavior is not compatible with you. And this runs even deeper when you get to sexual orientation. This is a deeply personal, but also something that you share with at least one other person, but not something that you share with the whole entire world. The whole entire world may get the inference, they may get the idea that, yeah, you are definitely banging your partner. But at the same time, we don't just sit here and outwardly talk about it as if it's something we want everyone else to participate in, as if it's something that we take pride in terms of gloating and promoting it. It's like, I don't sit here and take pride in saying that I've done it before. That's just, it's just what it is. We do this because we are biologically wired to do so. And that's what brings me to my point. When you don't want to be around someone that is sexually attracted to the same sex that you are, and they are the same sex that you are, you don't you don't get why that would be an issue. You don't get why, like, for example, a man wouldn't want to be around another man that is attracted to men, knowing how men chase after women. Does this just escape people's minds? And then I know some people are going to try to be contrarians and say, well, you know, it isn't just that. It's because of all the hatred and the vitriol and blah blah blah. There's hatred and vitriol on both sides. On on the LGBTQ side or whatever, they're talking about heteronormative standards are bad and all that crap. And then on the other side, we're saying, well, these people are evil. These people worship Satan. These people, blah, 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 blah. It has nothing to do with Satan. There is no Satan. It has nothing to do with the devil. It has nothing to do with who they worship. Because, first of all, some of these people are Christians and somehow they still end up, you know what I'm saying, on the opposite side of the coin. And in that way, I don't even really understand, because the Bible is very plain and clear. The belief system is very plain and clear. It doesn't really allow for that, but that's up to you. That's your prerogative. You want to just ignore part of your religious text for your own, I don't know, for your pleasure, you know, because you like to pleasure yourself. So that's more important than paradise. I don't know how people rationalize, you know, being one thing that is contradictory to the thing that they say that uplifts them and has uprooted them from the earthly things, and they're going to get into the heavenly things. How you going to get into the heavenly things if the things you do would have you described as a heathen to the people that wrote the book that you are trying to get into heaven by using? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. But back to normal people and how we don't necessarily have to interact nor have anything to do with pride parades or celebrating you or holding you up. Why? Are we seriously gonna sit here and say that a straight person is supposed to sit here and say, yeah, when you like someone that is the same as me, in which I would not like liking me, then I'm going to, you know what I'm saying, go and help you on your, like, I can't even finish the sentence. It's so stupid. It's so silly, to be honest with you. And I'm trying not to sound so crude about it, but damn, you guys don't see how foolish this just sounds and looks? We're pointing the finger at people. You're this, you're that, because you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, you don't want to speak up for these people. And then you got people virtue signaling. They're just like, I'm gonna be the pole that holds up the flag. I'm gonna be the person that stands on all 10 toes and says that I support. Oh my gosh, of course you support it. You support everything. If Palestine is in trouble, you support that. If South Korea was in trouble, North Korea, if anything, if the Ukrainians are in trouble, if anything is in trouble, except for the people that look like you, apparently, because when you're black, you don't care about anybody else that look like you, but you apparently care about all these other folks that don't look like you, don't have anything to do with you for some reason. They're important to you. You care about them. You care about people that have lifestyles that are different from yours, but you don't care about people that have lifestyles that are similar to yours. You don't even care about your own people half the time, but you do seem to care about people that are different from you, but not people that are like you. The people that are like you give them a hard time and try to bring out more differences and try to divide people when, you know what I'm saying, we're more similar than we are different. But then the minute somebody else is doing something that is actually different, that is actually not as normal as it would seem, or at least that is actually sociological and biologically different from how you are wired, but that right there is just, you know what I'm saying, that's okay. But, you know, when an African American runs into a Haitian, all of a sudden we are completely different, too different to get along. We can't even coexist. You know what I'm saying? We see an African from Nigeria or wherever, from South Africa or wherever, and we're like, oh, they don't like us, and they're like, oh, we don't like them. For some reason, we can't even imagine liking each other for some reason, but we can imagine liking people that have a different sexual orientation from us. I don't get it. You can chastise people that do drugs, but then you are like, okay, it's fine if you go, you know what I'm saying, put your thing in somebody else's booty hole or whatever. It's fine if you're putting strap-ons like this is some type of game or something. Like, you know, it's fine if you're doing something that's biologically opposed to how I would work or how I'm wired. It's fine when you're doing that. But when we're similar, when we're genetically, you know what I'm saying, almost identical to the point where it's like, if you're black, I'm black, we all black, right? But nah, we can't even be like that. But if you're a male and I'm a male, and if you're a female and I'm a female, then it's all good. It's like you skip some of the steps to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? You want to reach this holistic point where it's like everybody is all included, but then you don't even include your own people. And then you get mad when other people include their own people. When white people want to do things for white people, all of a sudden it's an issue. When Asian people do things for Asian people, it's not an issue because you can't do anything about it. You wouldn't dare step to them because they are so advanced and sophisticated as a society in certain places that you're just like, well, they're, them being homogenous works for them. But when white people try to be homogenous, it's like, oh, you racist. The real issue is that, and I'm just going to change subject, forget it. This is just a video where I'm just ranting and rambling on. And if you like it, well, stick around for more because I may do this often. But why is it that we look at racism as if that's the bad guy? The bad guy is actually supremacy. People that are supremacist, people that think that they are better than others. You loving your race, you know what I'm saying, I love being African because I am of African descent. I love being Caucasian because I'm of Caucasian descent. I love being Asian because I'm of Asian descent. There is nothing wrong with that. If you're Chinese and you adore being Chinese, you adore your history, there is nothing wrong with that. If you are African American and you enjoy African American history, there is nothing wrong with that. If you want to go to the greater parts of it, of just your whole entire race, if you enjoy being Caucasian, if you enjoy being Asian, if you enjoy being African, then just be that. There's no issue with that. The issue is when you think that you are better than someone. The issue is when you think that somebody is inferior to you. The issue is when you oppress people. The issue is when you are trying to manipulate and disenfranchise and diseducate and miseducate and mislead and trying to hoodwink people. That's when it's an issue. When you enslave people, when you colonize people, when you try to take over a whole person's mindset, culture, and being, that's the issue. Not you loving your people. You loving your people is not the issue. So maybe we should reform racism and be like, okay, there's nothing wrong with being a racist, but when you are a hater, when you are sitting there being prejudiced, when you are sitting there judging people and you don't even care to try to get to understand those people, when you are sitting there trying to exterminate a people, kill their history, wipe it out, and then when they try to take credit for their own creations and for their own history, you try to point the finger and say, oh, look at them, we was kings. You're damn right we were kings, because this is true. You can find it back in the history, but oh, you like to rewrite history, but we have oral history, but our oral history doesn't matter. Your oral history matters. Hell, even when we have physical history, you try to say, well, that history, it's irrelevant. It's not what you think. It's not even saying that. Actually, if you look at it, it's actually trying to say something different. You guys piss me off. Supremacists piss me off more than any racist has ever pissed me off. Because when you want to sit here and try to downplay African history, try to downplay African people, and act like everything that we try to take claim for is just irrelevant, is unprecedented, is unfounded, we have no place in history, we have done nothing until we were enslaved, that is crap, and you know it is crap. And I'm gonna be here to sit here and try to remind you, try to sit here and show you that we have done stuff, and we have done a lot of great things. Our history is powerful. Our history is magnificent, just as any other race's history is. Asian history is magnificent. Caucasian history is good. We have a great history. We have the oldest history, and I am proud of it. We should be proud of it. I love my African people. I love all black people, except for the evil ones, except for the coons, except for the ones that betray us at every angle, except for the Sambos, except for the sellouts, except for the ones that do not appreciate the African lineage, that do not appreciate the African heritage, that try to throw us off into being Hebrews or indigenous to the Americas. We are from Africa. We are African born, raised, and we are African bred. We are African bled. We bleed African blood, and you know this. You can go do the research. You can go do the DNA test, but you don't want to do that, do you? Because you hate facts. You hate the truth. You hate when somebody is telling you who you are and what you are, because you want to be something different. You want to be something original. Sometimes it's good to be something original because we are something original. We were the original people. Why can't you take pride in that? We were the first people. Why can't you take pride in that? We are the humans in which that all humans descend from. The black woman is the mitochondrial Eve. Why can't you take pride in that? But instead you want to take pride in lesser things. Instead, you want to take pride in more recent things, but you don't understand the exponentiality of our history and try to take pride in that. So try to become more pro-black by being more Pan-African, by being more Afrocentric, by loving yourself, by loving your people, by loving where you came from, and not just saying, well, I was taken to Americas on the slave ship, so I'm African American. No, you don't even claim being African American. You claim that you're Black American. Black, African, Nubian, whatever you want to call yourself. We are one people, and that's what we should behave like. That's how we should act. You sitting here acting like we're separated by culture. You're sitting there acting like we're separated by land and sea and all that. But we are brought together by being. We are brought together by who we are, by history. We are brought together by being an African people, and we need to get back to that. That's it.